Woman arrested for allegedly involvement in home scams that caused victim to lose $10,000. Says here in this Straits Times article that a woman was allegedly arrested for involvement in home rental scam that caused the victim to lose $10,000. April 2018-2021. So it says here 46-year-old woman was arrested Tuesday for suspect involvement between 10 January to April 7. The police statement said that the victim had responded to online advertisement for a Bedok North residential unit for rental put up by the woman but wasn't the unit owner. So today we're going to talk about 5 real estate related scams that ran rampant within COVID-19 season and how we should avoid them. Check it out. There's this article by 99𝗀𝗀𝗄. Scam number 1. Law Society warns scammer impersonating lawyer to cheat property buyers. Very crazy. Lawyers impersonation is something that is very common, but I thought that in this day and age in Singapore it's very hard to do, but apparently people can do. In the wake of 2 scams that happened within last month, and this article came out in 24th May 2019, so this is actually pre-COVID time. So both cases involve conveyancing law firm and property transactions. The scammers assume the identity of the client or the firm and then trick the client by using fake emails that have deceivingly similar to the real one. This was a kind of phishing, and phishing attacks mainly use fraudulent methods which also such as spoofing of internet addresses and emails to obtain sensitive information. So let's get right into it. The first case was that the law firm sent its client an email asking him to pay the balance of the property transaction through a cashier's order. The client emailed back agreeing to buy the cashier order on Friday before the completion date. So the scammer then hacked into the client's email account, impersonated the lawyer, and then sent the client emails informing him to do a TT. And then when the firm called the client on Tuesday to ask when he would come by to give the cashier order, he was shocked. He said, "I will transfer to the Bank of China account in Hong Kong somehow," as instructed by the scammer. The scammer had bought a domain name very similar to the firm's name by replacing the hyphen with a full stop. And the scammer also impersonated the client and sent emails to the law firm by again changing the email address slightly. So the client lost a substantial amount of money through the law SOC, what's that, yeah? And did not wish to reveal the actual sum. Sibei malu, confirm won't review one. Both the law firm and the client have made police reports. Wow, this one can nurse, yeah. This one actually quite meng. There was no chance for interception by the lawyer because there was closed loop communication. They straight away sent an email say, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, we don't accept cashier order anymore. You straight away transfer to this China bank account in Hong Kong." That's it. Money go out of Singapore, habis no. The transaction should always happen within Singapore. It's very rare for a completion for you to pay money to Hong Kong for a Singapore property bank account in Singapore one. How to avoid this? Always check with your lawyer and check the email address. The domain definitely must be same. If got extra S, you call your lawyer. If got no dot, call your lawyer. If got hyphen, call your lawyer. Don't know anything, call your lawyer. Because your conveyancing lawyer don't charge by hour, they charge by case. So just call them and make sure this thing is real. And then if your lawyer tell you don't do, please don't do, sia. The first case, scam number 2, rental scams involving fake listing. So a very common scam, renting out apartment that don't exist. It's very easy to do. Just take some pictures from your apartment, make a fake listing and put it online. Or better yet, scammers take a real listing and copy it. Platform like Craigslist, Facebook Market, Singapore got a lot. You can basically pull the pictures of Property Guru, 99𝗀𝗀𝗄, SRX, HProp, all the platforms, because now Facebook all that got marketplaces, right? Carousel got marketplaces, right? Any user can be a lister. That's how you will probably pull people in. I guess at some point the CEA regulated this thing and made sure that the platforms only allow for agents to list, which was a good safety mechanism. But then obviously platforms started to say, hey, why we cannot just open our market and let the owners list on their own? Don't know, good move or not. Give rise to this thing. It is very real in COVID, so we rented several houses during the COVID period. All we did was virtual tour or video sent to them. They see you ready, say you like, okay, we'll form it up when you need the place. We cannot, during the lockdown, we agents cannot even go and hand over. We practically had to move the keys over to them, let them do video, open the door, go inside, see the conditions, see your key work. Hey, Nick, this one like that. Hey, this one like that. So imagine this, by the time they reach that point of open the door, move, nothing happened, agent vanished, landlord vanished. Hey, then no place to stay, very siao. Tonight go and stay where sia? Stay outside, 𝗓𝗏. Again, how to avoid? This one also very tricky. If you really got no place to stay and you need to go during COVID, just be very careful and make sure that you check all these things out. I think there's one fail-safe, which is basically ask for proof of ownership, ask for at least the fella to meet you there, then pay the guy, or try to ask for a separate deposit or a staggered deposit payment, which means that you can pay him something smaller if they really want. Because in good faith, to be quite honest, I've been on the other side of this thing, and it can be quite scary when a tenant say, hey, I want to rent but I don't want to pay the deposit. How does that make sense? I want to only pay when I see the place, and like how to do during COVID. Unfortunate. Number 3, relief package phishing scams. Relief package, you also want to scam people. Horrendous. Going back to the first point, if your email address is compromised by scammers, then they can easily impersonate other people aside from your lawyers, like your landlord, even the government and like the HDB. Then they will send you emails posing as these people, offering you COVID relief like masks, sanitizers. And many people don't think twice about handing over their personal information to people of the authority. So you must check this thing. Either the email looks different or is deceivingly similar. Especially if it means rental relief or vouchers. This was very appealing to a lot of people. But most of them don't realize that they've been scammed until very much later. The information they get from you can be used to set up a longer lasting scam. For example, they use your identity to borrow tons of money, leaving you in debt, or this one jialat, a date with Ira. Authorities warn a scammer impersonating officer from government agencies, police. In an advisory, ICA said members of the public have received calls from +65. Oh, now I know why. Every time I call people, then got +65, then they cut my phone. Then after they text me, hey Nick, sorry, I cut your phone because +65, I thought scammer. Anyways, it says that the accused recipients either spreading fake news of COVID-19 breaking out, further said the report, to be made against them and they had to pay a penalty. Basket. Imagine you got an SMS, you have been spreading fake news under the law of you shall pay a penalty of blah blah blah. This is by authority, blah blah, I don't know, police or what. Wow. $50, $20, don't know how many dollars. You just pay, they'll scam now. ICA added that the calls were not from ICA officers and from other calls or more. They damn daring, Confirm guarantee everybody fall into this trap. During COVID, when you receive some kind of news, you will send to 1,000 people. Yes or no? COVID numbers getting worse, forward. Now cannot go out, buy this and that, forward. If you go out, you're gonna penalty, forward. So you will have that fear inside, right? So when anyone calls from a government body, say, hey, 𝗶𝗏, you anyhow scam people, you anyhow give people false information, never. You pay fine. Now I understand why these people kena. Scammers may use caller ID spoofing technology to mask the actual call number and display a different number, and calls that appear to be from a local number may not actually be from Singapore. So do not provide your personal information such as name, identification number, passport details, contact details, bank account, credit card details to suspicious or unknown parties. Government authorities should not ask you for this stuff over the phone. That is very crazy. Even if they do, they need to show you warrant. If no warrant, no need show. The authorities said that it takes a very serious view, to what you do. Separately on Friday, the SPF said that they have at least 200 reports of bank-related phishing scams where police officers were impersonated. In a news release, SPF said scammers have been posing as police officers on messaging app and using publicly available pictures of officers to validate their Scammer nowadays damn smart. Hey, don't give your bank account and email account, not email account, and bank details to police. Police will ask you for this stuff. Number 4, collective investment scam. Collective investment scam involve getting several investors, even friends and family, to pool their money to purchase properties both local and abroad. Since COVID means cheaper properties, then the properties are rented or resold, then the profits will be split among the investor. Sound legit. Collective investment schemes in themselves are not bad. Safe and legal ones are called REITs and are regulated by the MAS, Monetary Authority of Singapore. In this case, scammers will make money off the money, and even if it isn't a scam, you will lose your money as well as saddled with a worthless property. If you find yourself in a situation where people are pressuring you to invest, even if they are your family, you can always say no. If you still want to go into them, just join a REIT. By REIT also must study 𝗠𝗍𝗍. Thank you very much. Here's an example. 7 victims in Singapore lose over 1.45 million in stock buying scam. So basically they heed the advice of investment gurus and bought more than 49,000 shares in United States listed company in recent months. Within 2 days, the share plunged by 80% and they made a sharp loss of 1.07 mil USD, which is equivalent to 1.45 mil. The police said that most of the victims got to know the swindlers through social media or instant messaging platform WhatsApp and WeChat. Here's a small diagram on how this works. So to put it bluntly, the fraudsters will first buy the shares cheap in this phase. Then the victims will buy on the fraudsters' instruction with the promise of quick guaranteed returns, which is where the fraudsters will pump this thing. When the fraudsters sell at a profit, the victims suffer at a loss. Okay, basic pump and dump lah. But how is this real estate related? I would say this may be real estate related stocks which is basically they may package this thing as like a REIT. Number 5, illegal subletting scams. So for this scam, a scammer will rent a property and pose as the landlord, then rent it out to somebody else and then get away with this, being the property owners may not check on the properties as often due to COVID-19. So the scam can play out in a couple of ways. The scammers posing as the landlord will demand a deposit worth several months rental for the unwitting subtenant and vanish after getting the money. Then the scammer would only need to pay the real landlord the initial deposit. That's absurd. So, or the scammer can lease the apartment to people for criminal activities. They would operate an illegal brothel, cook drugs, have multiple illegal immigrants crammed into one room, and the list goes on. If this happens, then the criminals are arrested and the landlord could also be charged as an accessory to crime even he was innocent. Wow, this one is damn painful. Heartland brothels in HDB keep returning despite police raids and resident complaints. 24-year-old man who rented condo unit to be used as brothel, jailed and fined. So the precaution here is like this. If you must rent a property, rent it to a tenant, then there are things that you need to do. First, you must check their pass. So you can either check it on MOM if they're pass holders. I think there's an app for you to just put in their PIN number and check it's valid until when. Then the other thing here, it's not uncommon for landlords to put in clauses into tenancy agreement to say periodically, I want to have the right to come and say hello to you and have a glass of tea and chat with you. Basically, is to say I want to make sure you're not drug addict and prostitute or along or illegal gambling. I hear that one big nowadays people have that automated mahjong table. So this is basically for people who are leasing the place. Don't want to fall into the scam of leasing from a subletter. Then what you got to do is check with InLease, which is you can pay for $5.25 on InLease website, or you can get a $2.50 check from IRAS on the annual value of the property, and it will tell you who is the owner. The former, which is the InLease one, is more accurate. So if you're renting HDB, then you can ask the landlord for proof of ownership, which is very easy. This guy just goes into HDB, log in via his SingPass and show you, hey, Lim Pei owner ho. In conclusion, don't so naive. If your lawyer say no, don't give out your particulars, bank account details to whomever who asks, especially police who don't have permit. And if anybody calls you from a +65 number except Nick Tan, then maybe you don't want to pick up. Anytime. See you. Remember, +65 Nick Tan, pick up.